Rethinking failure. Let me ask you something. When you think of failure, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it shame, regret, a sense of defeat? If that's how you feel about failure, you're not alone. Most of us are conditioned to see failure as something to avoid at all costs, a sign that we're not good enough, or that we've fallen short. But what if I told you that failure isn't the end? What if I told you that failure is actually one of the greatest gifts you'll ever receive? Today, I want to talk about failure, not as something to fear, but as a powerful motivator that can fuel your growth, reshape your mindset, and lead you to success. Failure has been my greatest teacher, and I want to share the lessons I've learned from my own setbacks so that you can start seeing your failures in a completely new light. Point 1. Failure is not final. It's foundational. I used to think failure was the worst thing that could happen. When I was younger, I poured my heart into a business idea. I was convinced it was going to change everything. I worked tirelessly, investing time, energy, and resources into making it work. But you know what happened? It crashed and burned. I lost money, my confidence took a hit, and I felt like I'd let everyone down. For a long time, I let that failure define me. I told myself I wasn't cut out for success, that maybe I wasn't smart enough or talented enough. But as time went on, I started to realize something. That failure wasn't the end of my story. It was the beginning of a better one. The lessons I learned from that failure laid the foundation for everything I've accomplished since then. I learned how to manage risk, how to handle setbacks, and most importantly, how to get back up when life knocks you down. Takeaway 1. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process. Each failure is a stepping stone that brings you closer to your goals. Point 2. Shifting your perspective on failure. Here's the thing about failure. It's all about perspective. You can choose to see it as a roadblock, or you can choose to see it as a lesson. I want you to imagine for a moment that you're climbing a mountain. You're making good progress, but then you slip and fall. You're a little bruised, maybe even frustrated. But you have two choices. You can stay down and give up, or you can get back on your feet. Learn from what caused you to slip and keep climbing. Failure is like that slip. It's not there to stop you. It's there to teach you. It's there to show you what's not working so that you can adjust your approach and keep moving forward. Takeaway 2. Failure is feedback. It's life's way of showing you where you need to grow, adjust, or try something new. Point 3. The fear of failure holds you back. Let's talk about fear. Fear of failure is one of the biggest reasons people stay in their comfort zones. We're so afraid of looking foolish or making mistakes that we don't even try. But here's the thing, the comfort zone is where dreams go to die. Every success story you've ever heard started with someone taking a risk. They put themselves out there, knowing full well that they might fail. And guess what? Many of them did fail, again and again, but they kept going. Take Thomas Edison, for example. Do you know how many times he failed before inventing the light bulb? Over 1,000. When someone asked him how it felt to fail so many times, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Takeaway 3. The fear of failure is worse than failure itself. Don't let it stop you from taking the risks that could lead to your greatest achievements. Point 4. Finding strength in vulnerability. There's a certain vulnerability that comes with failure. It forces you to confront your weaknesses, to admit that you don't have all the answers. But you know what? That vulnerability is a strength. When I experienced my first major failure, I was so focused on hiding it from others. I didn't want anyone to know that I'd fallen short. But over time, I realized that being honest about my struggles not only helped me grow, but it also inspired others. When you share your failures, you create connection. You remind people that they're not alone in their struggles. And in doing so, you give them permission to embrace their own imperfections and keep going. Takeaway 4. There's strength in vulnerability. Sharing your failures can inspire others and remind you that failure is a shared human experience. Point 5. Turning setbacks into opportunities. Every failure carries with it a hidden opportunity, but only if you're willing to look for it. I remember one time when I was working on a big project and it completely fell apart. I was devastated, but instead of dwelling on what went wrong, I asked myself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to grow? That one question changed everything. It shifted my focus from the past to the future, from regret to possibility. And because of that mindset shift, I was able to take the lessons from that failure and apply them to my next project, which ended up being a huge success. Takeaway 5. Failure is a doorway to opportunity. The key is to focus on what you can learn and how you can use that knowledge to move forward. Point 6. Building resilience. Through failure, resilience is like a muscle. It gets stronger every time you push through a challenge, and failure is one of the best ways to build that resilience. When you fail and choose to keep going, you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than you think. You're showing yourself that you can handle setbacks, that you can adapt and grow. Takeaway 6. Every failure makes you more resilient. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about learning how to bounce back stronger. Point 7. The role of self-reflection. One of the most powerful tools for turning failure into motivation is self-reflection. When you take the time to reflect on what went wrong, you gain valuable insights that can guide you moving forward. After every failure, I ask myself 3 questions. What did I learn from this experience? What could I have done differently? How can I use this knowledge to improve? By reflecting on your failures, you turn them into opportunities for growth. You shift your mindset from I failed to I'm learning. Takeaway 7. Self-reflection turns failure into a teacher. It helps you grow and make better decisions moving forward. Point 8. Staying focused on your why. Whenever you face failure, it's easy to lose sight of why you started in the first place. That's why it's so important to stay connected to your why. Your why is your purpose, your reason for pushing through the hard times. It's what keeps you going when things get tough. Whenever I face a setback, I take a step back and remind myself of my bigger picture. Why am I doing this? Who am I doing it for? And how will it feel when I achieve my goal? Takeaway 8. Your why is your anchor. When failure shakes your confidence, reconnecting with your purpose will help you stay motivated. Point 9. Embracing. The journey. Success isn't a straight line. It's a journey filled with twists, turns, and detours. And failure is part of that journey. If you're waiting for a life without failure, you'll be waiting forever. The key is to embrace the process, to find joy in the ups and downs, and to celebrate your progress along the way. Takeaway 9. Success is a journey, not a destination. Embracing failure as part of the process makes the journey richer and more rewarding. Point 10. A call to action. So, here's my challenge to you. The next time you face failure, and you will, don't run from it. Don't let it define you. Instead, lean into it. Reflect on it. Learn from it. And use it as fuel to keep moving forward. Remember, failure isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of a better one. Here are the 10 points from this video. Failure is foundational. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone that helps you grow, learn, and move closer to your goals. Failure provides feedback. Every failure offers valuable lessons, showing you what doesn't work and where you need to adapt. Fear of failure is limiting. Fear holds you back from taking risks. Success requires stepping outside of your comfort zone and embracing uncertainty. Vulnerability is strength. Sharing your failures builds connections, inspires others, and reminds you that struggles are part of being human. Setbacks hide opportunities. Failure often opens the door to new opportunities if you shift your mindset and focus on solutions instead of problems. Resilience is built through failure. Every time you bounce back from a failure, you strengthen your ability to handle future challenges. Self-reflection drives growth. Reflecting on your failures helps you identify lessons, improve your approach, and make better decisions in the future. Your why keeps you grounded. Staying connected to your purpose provides motivation to push through failures and keep working toward your goals. Success is a journey, not a destination. Failure is part of the process. Embracing the ups and downs makes the journey more meaningful and fulfilling. Use failure as motivation. Rather than letting failure discourage you, use it as fuel to keep moving forward with greater determination and focus. Hit that like button and subscribe for more life lessons. And in the comments below, tell me, what's one lesson you've learned from failures?